If you could achieve one thing in your life, what would it be? What's your dream?
To go to the Paralympics
Yeah?
and,
And
compete in a lot of events.
yeah, and take home a gold would be nice,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Raising a child is tough in its own right, but raising a child with a disability in a world that can often be cruel and ignorant at times is a whole other challenge in itself. We met up with the 11-year-old Cormac and his father Matt at Cormac's regular Saturday track session, and their story is both eye-opening and inspiring. What was that like for the family to find out at 20 weeks that your firstborn, your young boy, has got spina bifida?
We were very excited to be having our first child. I mean, I think all parents are excited at that first news. The moment we got that ultrasound, it was actually a woman who was doing her first week of a prac from university. And she's there doing what she thought was a really regular, normal ultrasound for a new couple with their first bub. And she said, I just need to go outside and just talk to my supervisor. The supervisor came in and said, I need to go and talk to the manager. And of course, Rose was lying on the bed. We thought it was going to be a 20-minute job. It ended up being an hour and a half. And sort of from that point on, we knew that it was something serious. We knew that there was, some talk of, terminating the pregnancy and that sort of stuff. But for Rose and I, that was never a question, And
What would be the hardest thing for mum and dad to deal with their son having a disability?
We've got two daughters who aren't in wheelchairs. I guess it really hit home when Tilly was about to go to school. I remember Tilly just saying, I'm really worried about school, and that was rare for her because she'd been so excited we bought the uniform and all those things. But she said, when's Cormac going to be able to walk?
Yeah.
And we said, he might not be able to, sweetheart, that's just part of it. She goes, well, I want to be able to walk with him down to Daddy's work, and I want to hold his hand and walk with him down to Daddy's work. And that really hit us. She had a cry and we had a cuddle and explain things to her. But those are moments, I think, that sort of shape your thinking around your kids and their thinking around it.
Tell me about the lack of empathy.
I don't want to be superficial in my response, but for little kids, it's a big deal. We bring them to the Royal Easter Show, or we take them up to the Hunter Gardens for the Winter Gardens up there, and kids get onto rides and that sort of stuff. Cormac's not able to get onto those rides a lot of the time. A lot of the time they don't think about people in wheelchairs wanting to be part of it. There have been times where we've had to speak to the manager of a particular event and say, our son has the right to be able to go to this in the same way that our daughters go to this. Yeah. If he wants to go on that ride, why can't he?
Should be the same.
Once again, mate, that sounds like a really superficial answer, but quite often that's when the emotions are at their worst because he's a little kid. Whether he's in a wheelchair or not, it doesn't matter. It's exciting to do these things.
What's one of the things, I guess, that, Cormac having a disability, how is that helped, changed, empowered you and Rose?
One thing we've really learned is about that notion of what resilience actually looks like. Because we've got to be resilient for the kids, and all parents need to be that. Quite often it's around that. I think we've also learned how to make it a really positive thing as well, that it's not all bad news. There's great positives. We've got a great little fella there who's a good young man, who's doing well at school, who's good around other people, and he's able to hold his head up and have a conversation. Who doesn't want kids like that? That's great. I'm happy with that. There's been other times too where people have been really good to us. I mean, we do look at the way that Kurt Fernley carries himself in public. Every time he's near a microphone, he seems to be giving really strong messages around advocacy for people with disabilities. And I guess we want that for Cormac too. We want him to be a bit of a voice like that, not to be Kurt Fernley, but to listen to that message that's being given and to understand where that message comes from and where we want that message to go during the course of his lifetime. And I think that's really powerful as well.
My favourite player when I was a youngster was Brian Lara. He used to play for West Indies, and Usman Khawaja bats a little bit like Brian Lara. Left-handed, similar sort of style.
Oh, left-handed?
Yeah.
I never knew that.